Welcome to Cranfield University. Thank you for taking time out of your busy days. My name is Toby Thompson. I'm the director of the glorious Granville Turner Studios. Thank you again for taking time out of your days. This was a live shot that you see here at Cranfield University on something of a grey day. So apologies for that from the UK. Thank you to join the live event, and if you're watching the recording, then please stick around because we are very keen to carry on the conversation with you. We know that you're interested in management and that you're keen to land that dream job. We think we have the course just for you. If you're interested in management, a master's in management, then you are in the right place. Please don't go away. We're going to have interaction for this session, for the live session, so please type your questions into the Zoom text chat. We're not going to open audio, but type your questions into the Zoom text chat at any time. Observations, comments, challenges even, and we'll do our level best to answer those around the Masters in Management course that we're talking about today. We're going to have a course director, someone from the internship team, and three amazing students, two current and one's just finishing, who can tell you what it's really like. You've done the website, you've done your research, but these guys can tell you what it's really like. We know you have a choice of where you study. We know also that you've done your homework on what Cranfield is like. So before we talk to the people I've just mentioned, let's remind ourselves what an amazing place Cranfield University is. It's not often you get a piece of choral music as part of your corporate video. It fires me up every time I see that. Quite amazing, the breadth of things that we do. Just this morning in the studio, we were looking at hydrogen and what hydrogen means to the new economy. So let's keep watching out for what it is that we do here. Thank you again for joining us. I'm going to hand over now briefly to the people that are joining me in the studio. Not least is Michael, Professor Michael Dickman. Michael, stick around because you're course director, as I understand it, for the Masters in Management. What do you call the course? Just so we get that right.
We call it MIM, Masters in Management, really.
Masters in Management. But if we hear us talking about the Masters in Management and MIM, we mean the same thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, stick around because we've got a whole ton of things to ask you coming up. We also are joined by an amazing virtual audience, a virtual panel, I should say. Look at that. Let's give everyone a wave. Just wave to us to prove that you are you're not AI generated. Look at that, look. Would AI generated faces do that to you? I don't think they would. Francesco on the top there, give us a wave. And your current student, is that right, Francesco?
Yes, I am. I'm one of the students, sorry, of MIM. So just started more than a month ago, actually. And I'm Italian, so I came from Italy. I have a background in economics. And I'm part of a double degree with Leuphana, a German university. So this is why I'm here. I just joined that network, and maybe Michael will be able to tell you a bit more later.
Yeah, we want to find out more about that, and obviously you're a German speaker too. So Francesco, it was good to have you with us, Italian German speaker. Sangya, tell us about yourself, give us a wave, and you're a current student, true, at the moment, is that right?
Yes, my name is Sangya and I'm a current student at MIM in Cranfield University for 2024-25. And I've done my bachelor's in mass communication journalism, and here I am finally in Cranfield studying my master's now. And I have done and learned a lot already, and I'm here to learn more.
Wow, and you have an amazing background too, so we want to find out more about that. Proof that if you want to ask questions of actual students, here is your chance. Get into the text chat. Maybe start off by telling us where you are in the world. That will be an opener. Let's come to Rupert. Rupert, bottom right there. Give us a wave, Rupert. You're just down the road, as I understand it, in Milton Keynes in the UK?
Yes, yeah, I'm 20 minutes away at the minute.
Brilliant.
Milton Keynes, West Cross side, so just
And
the opposite side.
Just or almost, you're about to finish the Masters in Management, is that right?
Yeah, so I've submitted my thesis and done all the work side of it. I'm now just waiting to hear if I've done well.
See that nervous smile on Rupert's face there?
Yeah.
That's a real nervous smile. Michael tells me that it's all going to be kind of okay.
It's going to be fine.
It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine.
I'm sure.
See that look of relief now on Rupert's face there.
Yeah,
Fantastic. And last but not least, Preeti. Preeti, you're part of the faculty team here, or part of the staff here at Cranfield University. Tell us a bit about your role here.
Yes, so I am part of the Careers and Employability Service at Cranfield, but I actually work specifically with the School of Management to take care of internships and projects. So I'm the Internships and Projects Manager. I have a lot of interaction with the management students from day one, and I guide them through the process of when they first start, developing their employability skills, helping them with their CVs, preparing them to write cover letters, all the way through to applying for internships, and then securing an internship, and then guiding them through that process as well. So I'm a dedicated resource for the MIM students.
A dedicated resource. Please stick around, Preeti, because there's a ton of questions coming your way too. One thing you're not aware of is the fantastic fun that we had just before we went live, because everyone knows everyone here. It's just great fun. I've been working with Michael in the studio for these sorts of events for quite a while. Michael, kick us off, if you can, by saying more about why is there a Masters in Management? What is that?
Okay. Look, the Masters in Management is based on our MBA. I took that as a blueprint to develop the program. And it gives people a absolutely fundamentally useful management education, right? And we build it around the idea that we are very strong in Cranfield around knowledge into action. So it's about up-to-date, great evidence for activities that will lead to the success of your organization. That's the knowledge part. There's a skills part associated with it around having adequate, good skills that make you successful in business. And there is a behavioral part to say we need to translate this into behavior, of course. I think with all the ongoing geo-crises, it might be wars in Ukraine or Gaza, with climate change, with all that uncertainty and the dynamic developments around us that impact on society and on businesses, of course, this is the best time to be able to actually delve into really understanding how I can become a successful professional.
And invest in your career and your future at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we are doing our level best to really get people to become insightful leaders who will change the world, right?
Wow.
But on top of that, we're trying to have a bit of fun and create a cohesive community on the course.
Wow. So tell us who you think is watching here. Are we looking at people that are thinking management's worthwhile getting into? Who do you think the audience is here?
You haven't told me anything about the audience. So
I'm intrigued. Did you...
I'm going to assume these are the people who will apply.
Right.
Right?
But they haven't got to be...
have an interest to apply.
But haven't got to be in management right now. It could be an interest.
So the typical, if there is a typical applicant, right? A typical applicant has about 1.5 to 2 years of work experience through internships or through some work. Okay, some eventual students don't have any, but that's rare. Most people have a bit of work experience around internships, and some have 5, 6, 7 years of work experience. But the typical person has 1.5, 2 years of work experience. It doesn't have to be in management.
I was just about to ask you that.
The background is actually about 35 to 40% of students have a management background.
Quite low. I thought it would be more.
Yeah. So the other almost 2/3, most of them are engineers of various engineering disciplines. But we do have students who are successful. I mean, you just heard Sonia about mass media and communication.
Yes.
We have students who have done languages. We had outstanding sports people. So we had an Olympic gymnast from France.
You're kidding.
We had a Formula 3 driver from Italy, actually, Francesco.
Wow.
You will like to hear that. We had a badminton professional in the Indian badminton team. So there's a range of things that people who come and apply. And that makes it actually so fascinating because you have such a diverse cohort.
So when you're here, you're going to be sat working with people in your team that are from all over the world and from pretty much any discipline that you can think of.
Yeah.
Adjacent to management, maybe not even
And
adjacent.
maybe not even. I mean, 3 years ago, I had a student, a Greek student, who wasn't just had been in their handball team, in their national handball team, but he was actually a captain of a super tanker, 480 meters long. It must be one of the biggest tankers in the world.
Wow.
Okay, it's amazing.
Any super tanker drivers, we want to hear from you.
Okay.
Are we talking about this, not the craziest, but the most outlandish or the most distant from management is still applicable? What is that? Because everyone manages something.
I'm looking for a spark. Okay, people who have a vision for themselves, what they want to achieve in life. Okay.
Right.
Sometimes I'm also looking at simply intelligent people who want to become better at something. They might not have a total vision because we're helping them to develop it.
Yes.
But they are interested in getting ahead in terms of their knowledge, skills, and behaviors to become good leaders in management.
Brilliant.
Okay.
We're going to try and make this slightly more student-centered than we have done before. So Francesco, I'm going to come to you first, if I may, and just comment on some of the things that you've heard. Why, Francesco, did you come to do this course?
Well, it was one of the possibilities that was given to me while I was studying in Germany. And actually, already at a look before going to Germany, I think it was a great possibility, you know, just coming to the UK, coming to Cranfield, one of the best schools of management. And, you know, I just decided to take the opportunity. I'm always someone that tries to get out of the comfort zone, just try to get out there, try to explore new things. So, I mean, it was a network that was already in place. I was lucky enough to be part of it. I applied, I got in, and I just came here.
So you see yourself, Francesco, going into management, or it's just a useful skill to have? Say more.
Yes. I mean, I think most of us here will probably go into management. Most of the students, as you were saying, are from different industries. So we have, you know, someone from design, someone from the creative industry, someone from sales, accounting. It's just a mix. So everyone else at the end will probably go into some sort of management role. It just, you know, depends which exact role. Could be project management, could be product management, could be even just consulting, could be finance, could be a bit of everything.
Thank you. Just to go back to where people have come from, thank you for putting that into the texture. Dushko from Leicester, we have Lois from Netherlands, we have Isadora from Chile, we have Christina from Ukraine, Willis from Kenya, and Kenneth from Ghana. That's a kind of pretty much average
brilliant.
by the sound of it in terms of countries that people are coming from.
Yeah.
Pretty normal.
Yeah.
Wow.
Although in South America, we tend to get people from Colombia, from Brazil and Peru, and from Mexico. So Mexico, right? So Chile would be fantastic, I have to say.
Anyone from Chile, we're keen to hear from you, so please let us know in the text chat. Sangi, if I can come to you, please. Tell us more about why you chose Cranfield in particular.
So I chose Cranfield particularly because first of all, of the ranking, of course, I've heard a lot about Cranfield, and it's among the top 5 universities in the UK for management, especially. I mean, the course module, it is so well diversified. All the professors, they were so well, you know, they have great experience and their histories. So I was clearly very attracted towards the management course. Also, the Spain trip is one of the biggest attractions, I must say. So yeah, so with the complete theories and the knowledge we're getting here, the practical knowledge as well, and of course the Spain trip. So yes, it was a lot we're getting in 1 year. And of course, a 3-month internship, I would say. Now, I have heard and researched as well a lot that in UK, there are hardly universities who actually provide the 3-month internship during the course, during the year we are studying here in our post-graduation. So that was one thing that actually would help me a lot to gain the professional exposure that one must gain before stepping out in the world.
Thank you. Sangi just mentioned Spain there. What's this about Spain? Tell us more.
Okay, so we take all the students for 1 month to Spain.
Wow.
So what we do is we give a lot of input here, and it's really interactional. But then we bring the students to Spain, to Granada for 2 weeks roughly, and to Valencia for 2 weeks, to explore some of these things, you know, on the ground. We are, I mean, Sonia just said something about ranking. We are ranked #1 in the UK for international experience. This is part of it, of course, but it's not just let's go on a tourist trip, I have to say, okay? Because what we do is we teach there. I teach effective cross-cultural management, and a colleague, Monica, you know her,
Yes.
teaches MAC, we call it, Management Consulting.
So you're Professor, International Human Resource Management, have I got that right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a professor.
that's your
I'm a
thing.
professor of that, and therefore I teach part of this. But and Monica does something fantastic as well. Every year it's a new company. So last year it was Deloitte. So Rupert has had fun with Deloitte, I think, or was it Ernst & Young? Rupert?
Deloitte. It was.
Deloitte,
yeah.
let's get
so
it
it was
right.
Deloitte, and they presented a problem, a management problem, and then the students have to work on it.
A
So
real problem.
yeah. A problem they're tackling with, it's a challenge that's ongoing.
Right.
The students work in learning teams, in groups on this challenge, and at the end they present again to, in this case, Deloitte. In the past we had EY, we had Radisson Group, we had Citi Group, we had World Vision. So every year it's a different organization, but it tends to be really, really good one. And it's fantastic. The output of the students is fantastic, and the client organization really feels that they get valuable input. But for the students, the experience to work on that life problem is invaluable, right? And that's just before they go into the internship. We can talk about it later, but I mean, that's what Spain is. And then we do have fun that's geared to also learning.
In Spain, yes.
In Spain, of course. So we had a business visit to Valencia Football Club.
Wow.
We had Alhambra on the program. We have a day of regatta where people actually steer their own boats
Whoa.
and compete with each other on a leadership day. Or fun like paella, which is actually really quite popular, an afternoon where people cook paella, right? So a range of things that we do. And the course really comes together at that point. The community really strengthens, and the friendship strengthens as well. And then you go off to the internship.
Wow, Rupert, you didn't learn a thing. It was just fun all the way, right? Tell us,
No,
what was your
I mean,
experience like?
For the whole Masters or for Spain?
No, for the Spain
specifically?
bit in particular, I'm interested in.
Spain bit in particular. I mean, so obviously you go to two different places, being Granada and Valencia. I personally preferred Granada. I felt that it was a much nicer, sort of more rustic city. Valencia is a bit more modern. But in terms of the learning throughout it, you're constantly, you're learning about, so to begin with, it's to do with the cross-cultural management. And you've already started with management consulting, so it's sort of just getting you warmed up a bit in the Spanish climate, excuse the pun, but
Pun intended.
but what you'll learn, especially because you have these interactions with the company that you're dealing with the challenge for, and you'll have these constant presentations throughout it. So while it is a nice experience in terms of the weather and enjoying the country, and you do get a chance to go around and see places that you'd like to, there is also a level of learning as well that sort of keeps it as part of the Masters rather than just a 1 month holiday.
So sticking with Rupert, sticking with that Spanish thing, the Deloitte that Michael mentioned there, how did that work out? Did you go to them for a query or a problem, or they gave you a problem to solve?
So they came with a problem to solve, and then we had a couple of interactions with, it was Yanis, who was the the Eastern European head for Deloitte. The problem specifically centered around AI, so he wanted to understand, so we had to make up our own solutions to it, and we had 3 different sort of mock presentations to Monica and 2 of the other members of staff who are based in Spain, to sort of mold it properly and then understand better where you can improve before the final presentation to the actual the consultant themselves and the final grade. So you do get a lot of chances to make mistakes and then recover from those mistakes before the full presentation. It's not just straight away you're thrown in the deep end.
Michael, what Rupert is saying there sounds a little scary. Those people on the call who maybe aren't quite so sure about this, you're almost in at the deep end, almost.
I mean, Rupert made that quite clear, right? Thank you, Rupert, in terms of it's a safe environment to learn. But of course, we want to stretch people.
Yeah,
we
these are real
want
clients.
to bring them to their kind of borders and push them beyond in a positive way.
Yes.
Okay, they are pushing themselves. So there's I mean, even on the course when you are in Cranfield, okay, we have simulations, we have case studies, we have role plays, we have interaction that says, hey, this isn't just the normal we convey knowledge to you. You've got to work in it. We put people into learning teams and then they feed off each other, and then they're getting ahead in terms of, I mean, this is like the real business environment, okay? You're being pushed, right, in a positive way. You're self-guided in many ways, but we do encourage you to go on. And we go, I mean, this is in the program, but we have a range of extracurricular activities where the students go and compete in other competition against other university teams, and that's different universities. And for example, our students last year won the HALT competition for the UK and then moved on to the international level, right? With a chance to win $1 million. Didn't quite make it, but almost. They were close, okay? Almost.
I think we had the person that went through, the team, she was sat here last year on the same event.
Okay.
Oh, she didn't win the £1 million, but
No, she didn't in
at
the
least
end.
got that far, had the experience of
Yeah.
it. Wow. So the international side of it, I guess one thing that's obvious is that working in business and management, international is normal. You need to get used to
Yeah, absolutely.
different cultures, different ways of doing things.
It's absolutely normal, okay? And whether it's you physically have team members all around the world, or some people do remote working, or also international business, you know, business is international. That's just normal. Business is also strategic. Business is AI, as you worked on, Rupert, right? Business is, so new technologies. Business is lots of things, and you'll be exposed to them here.
Wow. We've heard about Spain. I want to hear more about the internship, because Rupert mentioned it too. Preeti, can you tell us a little bit more about what that is and where it sits in the program?
Yeah, sure. So internships are a big part of the program, and it's kind of something that students work towards right from day one. Internships themselves take place in the summer, so June through to early September. So it's a 3-month internship, 12 weeks. Sometimes they can get extended. Sometimes it can even lead to full-time employment. So there are career prospects that come out of this, and otherwise it's a great way of gaining experience. UK exposure as well, especially if you're an international student and don't have UK experience, it's a great way to get your foot in the door. I start the internship process from now. So currently I'm meeting with new students to find out what their ABC plans are. So I'm coming up with what their plan A, plan B, and plan C is in terms of what industry they want to go into, what sorts of roles they want to do. And then I work with them and mentor them into different career paths to try out. And then we advertise projects from February onwards. It's a competitive process, but I've prepared students with their CVs, cover letters, and then they interview like they would for a regular job. And then, you know, there's a selection process that happens. It's a great experience for job applications. And then I take them through contracts as well, right the way through to starting their internship in June.
When you say projects, Preeti, you mean they get given projects, or they come to you saying, I'm interested in this area, I want to pursue it some more?
So these are actual live business challenges within a company. Some are international companies, some are UK-based companies. A lot of them are UK-based. But these are live business challenges. So last year we had Coca-Cola come forward with a few business challenges, and they said, we want a student that will solve this sustainability challenge for us, or we are looking for someone to manage this project, or we're looking at a supply chain challenge. So students can see all of the projects that come in. It's not just Coca-Cola. We get a whole range of companies submitting projects, and they apply for the ones that they're interested in. They explain why they're the best candidate for the role, what skills and experience they will bring to that project, and then they actually deal with a live business challenge. that is related to their thesis. So if students choose to do the internship project, then that is something that they will write their thesis about. So it's linked. They have an academic supervisor, but they also have a company supervisor. So it's great experience of doing a live business challenge. And you see the results of doing that business challenge as well. So you can actually see that your work, your consultancy project that you did led to something, and that's being implemented and being used by that company now.
That sounds amazing. Michael?
Let me add something, Pretty, because there will be a change next year. All of what you said is right, only that from next year onwards we make it slightly easier for the students to work on that big project, because there will be 4 days in a company, and the 5th day is a day of interaction with their academic supervisor. If they choose to, also their company supervisor. They have 2 supervisors, but mostly that helps them to already work on the project. That gets fed back into the organization, which is good, but it helps them to get ahead on their big project.
So Preeti, if I understood it, students are bidding for projects. What does a successful student look like? I'm assuming they're knowledgeable and passionate. Say more about good, what good is.
So good communication skills, good time management, etiquette in the workplace. It could be academic skills, but it's not just the academic skills that companies are after. It's actually someone who's well-rounded, has good soft skills, is a problem solver, has analytical thinking, can solve challenges, good team player, and future leaders, really. And projects are competitive. Some of them are paid, some of them are unpaid. So yeah, it's a competitive process, but yeah, it's something that students work towards all throughout the year so that they have the best chance of standing out and getting their dream project.
Wow. Francesco, I'm going to move to you. You signed up for this. How is this sounding? Is this sounding scary?
I mean, a bit, but also quite exciting, isn't it? The opportunity to actually do a 3-month internship, at least for me, and I don't really have work experience. Sounds really great, exciting, amazing. I mean, I'm quite looking forward to the meeting with Preeti here, hopefully happening soon. So we'll be able to sort it out, to actually see where I want to go, what I want to do. But yeah, I mean, it's quite, I don't want to say a long process. It's going to be quite expensive, but I'm sure, it will bring at the end some nice results. Yeah.
Wow, and Sangya, can I ask you about that whole process too? You knew this was coming. I presume you're looking forward to it in the same way that Francesco is?
I am kind of excited, but it's like I want to know more first about this, and then we'll get ahead. I have been preparing and working on my CV and internships for better opportunities.
And do you think, Sangya, that this will be helpful for you once you leave Cranfield to secure that dream job of yours?
Of course, it will be super helpful for me, because it's like, first of all, when we international students, we land here, we have to work a lot upon the resume, I believe. It's a complete different pattern and layout. So we're working on that, and what good skills can be mentioned in that, and how things have to be done for your job profiles and the career prospects. So our professors and teachers, they help us a lot that ways.
Thank you. Rupert, you've done this now. Tell us about your experience. Did you dread it? Were you looking forward to it? Are you pleased it's finished?
I mean, with the internship process prior to it, yeah, it wasn't so much dread. It was the same thing. It was kind of excitement, but also nerves about how it was really going to play out, and how I would do the applications. What I would say is that after, I don't know if it's happened, I guess it won't have happened yet. It won't happen till early February, but you have the chance to network with quite a few of the internship companies and get to meet the people who are behind the names. And sort of put your foot in the door a little bit, which I think eases the nerves quite a lot. The other thing is of course, as well as the internships that Cranfield provide, that you'll also be given the opportunity to self-source, which I did in the end. Though that shouldn't take away from the internships that Cranfield does put forward, because a lot of them are very beneficial and they do set you up very well for UK workplace life.
And Rupert, the skill building that you undertook successfully, obviously, for that whole thing, what did you learn as a result of that?
So for me, I worked for an American company, So mine was more sort of learning that cultural difference in that regard. But it's also, it helps a lot with working with your own time management, and it works with how you use your own independent ability to work, because you are expected to have some level of independence or ability as the internship goes on, though of course at the start it's understood that this is very new, so it's gently nurturing towards that, but you do learn a lot of independent skills along the way.
And Preeti, what Rupert said there in terms of support, what support do Cranfield provide students through this big process?
So, as well as the students getting an academic supervisor to help them with the thesis and the academic elements of the internship, they have a careers team. It's a fantastic careers team. So, as well as all of the workshops and prep that we offer, we also have career consultants, career development managers. I'm also a career development manager because I have a background in recruitment, and a lot of our careers team have backgrounds in recruitment or have worked in industry or in HR, so they understand what recruiters are looking for. So we offer that support to students. We do one-to-one careers coaching appointments, so we can help students with their CVs, cover letters, interview practice. We do mock interviews. We help with general careers guidance. If a student's applying for a graduate program, we can help them, prepare for an assessment centre. So there is a lot of support that they get from the career service. When it actually comes to applying for internships, we can help them with interview prep. We can help them with their applications and so on. And then, when it comes down to negotiating salaries and, doing all of that nitty-gritty stuff when you actually get a job offer, we support with that as well. And it's lifelong support, so that's something that makes Cranfield very unique. The careers and employability team isn't just something that students can access while they're at Cranfield, it's beyond that as well. So if after you've graduated and 5 years later or 10 years later, when you're looking for your next career opportunity or for promotion, you can always come back to us and we will help you with your interview prep, to help you get to the next step in your career as well. We've had students come back about 20, 30 years after they've graduated from Cranfield as well. It is genuinely lifelong support. So I think that makes us quite unique as a university as well.
You never get to leave Cranfield, by the sound of it.
Yeah, we don't let you go. No,
Scary.
But also while you're here, the Financial Times published its latest ranking in September, and we're fourth in the UK, but we're number one for value for money.
Let's put up the ranking slides if we can, guys, because this is really worth talking about.
All right.
Talk us through this. First in the UK.
So I mentioned before, we are the first in the UK for the international student experience. Okay, and that's Spain, and because other masters in management, other MIMs don't really have these components often. We are also first in terms of value for money, which I think is actually really great in terms of what people do.
I wasn't aware.
And that's part of Preeti and the team, what they do. It's not just us where we provide a lot of the academic input and the skills, knowledge and behaviors, but also the skills around how to get a good job and how to progress in your career. That's also part of the career service activity.
Nice one, Preeti.
Then and then the QS ranking puts us 34th in the world per se and 6th in the UK in terms of the masters in management. So I think there is no doubt that this is a good program. The issue is it also getting people further ahead in their lives?
Right.
Do they get to become better leaders, and do they simply enjoy it? And the better leaders one is something I like to say something about, because in organizational behavior, we are helping people to understand themselves better, then understand others better, and then understand how to influence and lead others better.
That's a powerful combination.
Yeah, that's what leadership is about. Try to understand yourself, then others, and then how to actually influence them and lead them successfully. And that's really powerful. Yeah.
Francesco, can I come to you on that same point? This whole point about learning about yourself. If you're willing, can you tell us a little bit more about what you've learned about yourself since you started studying at Cranfield?
That's quite an interesting question, I would say. It's a lot of also introspection, you come here, there is a lot to do, it's quite intensive, the course. So you at least, try And I mean, you probably rediscover yourself. You know, you have to make new friends, you have to learn new things, you have to adapt to the environment, you have to adapt to the school, to the weather, a bit of everything. So it's just a process of rediscovery, I would say, of self-improvement for everyone, for myself, for all my colleagues. And personally, I mean, I'm just learning to be better organized now. As I was saying, you know, it's quite time intensive, so it's required, it's a skill that it's essential to be here. And probably Sangya could say the same, you know.
Yeah, Sangi, is that the same for you? Learning to be self-disciplined, timely? Say more about the skills that you've learned.
So I have an interesting thing to tell. It's like Cranfield has been helping me to be disciplined for last 1 year, I believe. It's not from Cranfield, but from the time I started preparing for Cranfield. I tell you, every step from applying to Cranfield, the dates I was supposed to receive my offer letter, how I have to go ahead with the visa application, everything. From day one, I have been noting down every day my routine in a diary. So I still have my diary from like I started back in August 2023. Yeah, and I have my all dates written, like 22nd August to mail Cranfield regarding my admission fees. 23rd August, what I'm supposed to do, 27th August, what I'm supposed to do, like every activity is noted down. And today I'm sitting here, it's 12th November, I believe. Yeah, it's 12th November, and I'm still having the same diary. From planning for Cranfield University, today I'm planning my lectures, my meetings, and everything in the same diary.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah, so Cranfield has definitely taught me a lot, especially discipline part, because that was what I was doing since from India. Now when I'm here, you have so much to do in the university. I'm somebody who just cannot stay inside my room. So I made sure that I have to utilize all the opportunities here. And it is one of the, I mean, I guess it's one of the best places where students are getting actually so much to, utilize and get so many opportunities. So I know that by evening we're free from our lectures. Then later I plan my day, like I have joint societies and clubs, and you have Cranfield Student Association as well, you have libraries as well. So I keep myself engaged to various activities. I keep noting down my stuff in my diary, and I keep remembering them. So yes, for sure thing, Cranfield has helped me a lot and has like definitely made me a better person in last 1 month for sure. I've become more organized, and I'm learning more and more every day. And that has been my goal for a really long time, I believe.
Well, I think some of the audience, Zangia, are a little worried about how good you are and what they should be doing right now.
But Sanya, I hope you feel still fine, given that we yesterday had a sports day
Oh,
for
yes,
everyone, that you can
I
still move and do something in the evening.
I forgot to mention that. So I have been a sportive kid like since my childhood, and after school during my graduation, I could not find much time to spend more time in like sports and other activities because I was mostly into the my graduation part. But when I was here, now Cranfield helps you maintain the your education, your lectures, along with the activities for you to stay healthy, fit, and focused as well. So yesterday for MIM students, we had sports day, and in a sports hall, we had various sports activities. We had competitions. We had like sports like basketball, volleyball, table tennis, and football and cricket.
You play all
So
these sports, right?
yes, and I played all of them.
And I played
After
badminton with you.
Whoa.
Yes,
Wow.
and
Who
the
won? Who
best
won?
part, the best part was that we had the opportunity to play. We had opportunity to play with the professor, so that was actually
Yay.
very nice. Like
Wow.
Professor Michael came and he joined us. We were so honored, and I felt happy for sure.
Wow,
He
cool
played
guy.
with us.
Cool.
Yes,
A
he
badminton
surely
playing
is.
professor is pretty
I was
good.
just, I was honored that they allow me to play with them. Okay,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
good sports people.
Wow.
It was fun. So we had sports hall from 9 in the morning till 5 in the evening, and I utilized it all. I played both the parts,
Wow.
but later at night I was completely dead. Today, while walking from my accommodation to this studio, I felt the pain.
Oh
But
no.
But it surely helped me realize that maybe I should start sports again, especially badminton.
Wow, Rupert, I want to come to you. Rupert, are you a sports person?
Mostly football. Yes.
Football, okay. Is
And
football
I
a
do
sport? I
remember
think it
having
is.
well, I had a similar sports thing last year, although Michael wasn't around at the time, so we had his son Nico,
Oh wow!
who is
yeah.
Nico was
unbelievably
playing
good at football.
Unbelievably
He's
good. Did you hear that?
unbelievably
Very
good
good.
at football.
God.
So evidently gets that from you, Michael.
I'm not sure. He's very good.
So Rupert,
He
in
is
terms of when you
ridiculous.
weren't studying, because it sounds like you had to study awfully hard, what were you doing if it wasn't football?
So for me, I'm quite a relaxed, laid-back person. I was quite fortunate to have a car on campus, so I was able to go see family. But there are a lot of things on campus you can do, even if not sport. I mean, the CSA does a lot of stuff,
Cranfield Student
events-wise
Association.
and fairly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, the Students Association does that quite regularly. I mean, for me personally, it was sport or potentially going to the Students Association with friends, that or doing study-related things. But there's a lot of societies. There's a lot of different things you can join. The Music Society is another good one. Cranfield's Consulting Society is another very popular one as well. It's not so much just to kill the time, but it's actually a very good way to get to know people on campus as well, and to kind of network as well as make friends.
Thank you. Preeti, I want to come to you because it sounds as though from what Rupert was saying, adding to your CV, the things that we've been hearing about in terms of sports, in terms of extracurricular, is super important. Would you agree?
I think it's one of the most important things you could do for your CV. It's to get involved with things, think about what soft skills you're developing. So if you're in a sports team, great, it should definitely be in your CV because that shows me leadership, it shows me team working, it shows me resilience, time management, competitive nature. There's lots of soft skills that come out of anything extracurricular. So the more you get involved with on campus, actually, that's very desirable for employers.
Thank you. Lois has a question, I think, from the Netherlands. And Michael, you can kick us off with this one. Lois is saying that there obviously are very many different management styles. Lois prefers transformational with positive influence, where everyone's participating in a team. Do you and the students, and I'll come to the students in a second, do you know what kind of style is preferred? Is there a general style preferred, or should you be a Renaissance person and be able to do every single style?
Okay, so leadership is situated in the context, right? And normally it is an organizational context and a country context. So the ideal leaders in some countries can be decisive, for example, and that would be often in countries where they have a high power distance. So, you know, where the boss is a half-god kind of thing. Here in the UK, and I presume also in Holland and a few other, let's say, Scandinavian countries, Germany, we have a much more democratic approach to leadership. It's never truly a democracy, of course, but it is about trying to bring out the best of the individuals in your team and make them a team. Trying to brainstorm cool, good, new ideas, using diversity to do that. And therefore there is a different leadership style appropriate, right? So here what we do is we try to help people understand their choices and their preferences, because some people have a particular preference around leading others or not. Charisma, for example, is acceptable everywhere around the world. So if you have charisma, fantastic, okay? That's good for leaders.
We don't have to have it.
Well, it helps, okay?
It helps, okay.
It helps for
It
leaders. I'm sorry to say everywhere it helps, everywhere around the world. But, you know, also if you're the ideas person and so on with less charisma, there's still ways to do this. And so we will sensitize you to your team, to understand your team better and yourself, and therefore then that's the basis on how can I live my leadership.
Goodness me. I don't know what we aren't doing here at Cranfield, preparing people for future careers, having you understand yourself, understand the organization and the context in which you're working. It's really quite a transformational thing that you're doing when you undertake one of this course.
Look, absolutely. We do want to change people. We want to move them to their better selves, to help them achieve their vision for themselves and to make the world a better place ultimately, right? Now that leadership part that I said to you when it was developed by Richard Kwiatkowski, Professor Richard Kwiatkowski, who you know,
Yes.
at the time was #1 in the world by the Financial Times. Wow. They had a ranking on organizational behavior. They stopped the ranking. Okay, so we could claim, okay, last ranking #1 in the world, which is implicitly what I'm doing. But of course, they stopped the ranking a few years back. But it is really transformational because we work with psychometrics to help you understand yourself. It's not just I look at you, Toby, and say, well, you're like this
not so
person.
sure.
Okay? No, we have a range of psychometric tools that we help people to understand, see their output, and then use it.
There's a boldness coming across from what it is you seem to want from potential students. A boldness. That's how I'm going to call it anyway. Think about that if you can. If you haven't had a chance to ask a question, please do that now. We have time remaining. I'm going to ask Kenneth has a question, and Kenneth wants to know, what's the process to go through if you're a foreign student and want to study at Cranfield? And also, what are the fee structures for new students who want to enroll in MSc management courses? Can you say a bit more about that? I know it's on the website.
It's on the website. Fee structure is definitely on the website.
Yes.
Possibly people are, so it's going to be something around £33,000 if you're not from the UK. But there are a range of scholarships available.
Let's put the scholarship slide up if we can. I know we're talking about merit scholarships and elsewhere.
Right. So what we are doing is, in reality, we have kind of, you can see some, right? For the best quality students, they will get an automatic scholarship related to the quality of their degree.
Wow.
Okay. So in the English system, when you have a 2-1, you get a 10% scholarship, and if you have a first, you get a 15% scholarship. That means wherever your system is, there is something called NARIC, that's some institution that helps us, that says this is the equivalent, and therefore we would automatically allocate a scholarship to you. What is on the slide are extra scholarships around people who might have merit or apply to country scholarships or to regional scholarships. We have those. And then lastly, a third way is to gain a scholarship via me or my two deputy directors. When we look at the application form, we can make a case, but we only make the case for the very best people in one sense, and that we make the case often based on the practice element, because we know that the academic element is taken care of in an automatic scholarship. But if we're really impressed by through an interview or by the CV and the practical exposure of people, then we can make an extra case as well.
Okay, thank you. Polly from Uganda has a question, and this, I think, Preeti, may come back to you. It's about the internship. I'm from Uganda. I want to know if the students from outside the country are allowed to carry out the internship within Spain. Is it possible for management to provide visas for international students? Preeti, say a bit more about that.
So it is possible. So usually if an international student is coming to the UK, they would likely be applying for a PSW visa. It's a post-study work visa. That allows you to work in the UK for up to 2 years, and in that time, hopefully you can secure a role with some sponsorship to work permanently in the UK. It could have an impact. So if you're applying for something in Spain, you could forfeit that PSW, but there's ways around it. So I've worked with students, international students, who want to do an internship in a country that is a third country. So not their home country, not the UK. So if it's a Ugandan student, they want to do an internship in Spain, it's possible. I negotiate contracts to allow the student to do it remotely from the UK. So they're still based in the UK, they're doing an international, they're working for an international organisation as part of their internship, so that bypasses any visa restrictions. However, it depends on your long-term career goals as well. If you'd like to be in Europe, then it would make sense to travel there. So we have a student immigration team here at Cranfield as well, who can guide students through visas and anything related to that. We also have a legal team who I work very closely with to negotiate contracts, NDAs, and so on. So we do have a whole support system at Cranfield, and then I will work with students on a case-by-case basis, depending on what your aspirations are and where your long-term career goals are and what makes sense in terms of your career trajectory, where you are, where you want to be, and where you end up doing your internship.
So I guess get in touch, Preeti. If anyone's got any queries about at all, get in
Yes.
touch. Brilliant.
Yeah, it's a
Michael?
very
If I can just clarify one thing, I know you said it implicitly. It is everyone who comes on the course has the right to do an internship in the UK.
Brilliant.
That's part of the program, and everything is legally assured there. Okay, and most of our students do have an internship in the UK because by choice, right? But yeah, we have then other variations that Preeti just talked about.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. Christina from Ukraine. Christina, it's good to have you with us. Thank you. Christina's asking, do foreign students need to pass an IELTS? And what score would we have to join to get?
And the answer is yes.
Yes.
And
yes.
the score is 7.0.
7.0. Christina, 7.0.
Okay, ideally. Christina, if you do have certain problems, I can make an extra case for students, but generally our threshold is 7.0, and that's quite a high threshold, it has to be said, but because our students work in companies, their English needs to be good.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
So Christina, hopefully you understand why that is the case. We are dead keen to hear more from you, so please do get in touch. Giamar has a question. Which program or programs are recommended for someone pursuing a career in entrepreneurship?
Aha.
Aha.
So we have the MIM has 4 orientations within that. One is the general orientations that most people want to become a general manager.
Right.
The 3 other orientations are one in human resource management, one in sustainability, and one in entrepreneurship.
Ah.
And so if you are a budding entrepreneur, what happens is you have or everybody in those specializations, you have a joint first term.
Mm-hmm. Same.
It's the best and most important management modules that we believe you should know.
Right.
In the second term, you specialize, okay? And so you would specialize in entrepreneurship, which also helps to explore your entrepreneurial ideas and how to get venture funding and all these sorts of things. You would specialize in this.
Cool.
The third term is going to Spain. Yes, you would come to Spain. And in the fourth term, you do an internship. We would then try to work with you around where it might make sense to be, located if you have entrepreneurial ideas, or what we can do. You might have the chance to go and try to put your entrepreneurial idea into action through the things you do in the fourth term.
Thank you. Fantastic. And we want to hear from all the students who have posed a question and got an answer that they like the sound of. So please stay in touch. I'm going to come to you, Francesco, if I can. In terms of career support, help for you to get your next job, your dream job, tell us more about what career support Cranfield provides.
Playing some of it, and I'm still on the initial stages, I would say. So I've been asked a few times because, coming from Italy, I had, to change my CV to refine it to adapt it to the UK standards essentially. So I've been there a few times. I spoke with some of the amazing people that are there working, and they were, quite great help to me. And now I'm just in the process of doing my cover letter. So hopefully next week I will also be there, trying, to get some insights, how to improve it, what to put, what not to put inside. And so it's just a process that is going probably to go on until January, February. So it's something that you need to do. You should already maybe start preparing before you actually come to Cranfield, because as I was saying, it's something that requires time, and you don't really have a lot of that here. So just preparing in advance, coming already with some ideas, with some insights, and then just, as soon as you can, go into the career service, book an appointment, and try to sort it out.
Well, and Sanga, you'd agree, I'm assuming. It's not as if careers is at the end of the course. It sounds like it's from the very beginning.
Yes, exactly. So in my case, I believe Cranfield is actually very helpful when it comes to the career guidance, especially. So the very first thing when we landed here, we had our first 2 sessions, and then we also made our accounts on simplicity. So VMock is a really nice feature that actually helped me learn about the CV and the resume part in the UK format. So that was the first step, I believe, that whatever experience we had, it first was set up in the UK format, and then we have this this feature where the facility where we are in touch with the our professors and teachers who are helping us in the basically the career counseling regarding the CV and the resume especially. So we go to them, we have face-to-face appointments, and you can just express yourself what we want to put in the CV, and they actually suggest you really good suggestions and advices regarding the same thing. So for example, I just went for my CV review the last weekend, and I've received my feedback as well. I need to work on my CV once again. I will be booking another appointment probably, and I will be making my CV perfect. So that actually helps me to understand the UK, resume and the work system, the organization system, what they're expecting, and how do we need to work as student to be better, managers or leaders, I believe, that organizations want in us. That is one thing. And I'm pretty sure the internships and other career counseling sessions we are going to get are going to give great insights for the, work environment here and the exposure we actually need.
That's pretty full, the support that we get in there. Rupert, can I come to you and change topics slightly around accommodation in the 4 minutes that we have remaining? Just tell us about your accommodation choices when you came to Cranfield. You appear to be on mute. Go ahead. I think we've your audio. Keep talking. Tell you what, we'll come to Francesco. Tell us about, we'll come back to Rupert. Francesco, can I jump to you in terms of accommodation? What are your recommendations for people thinking about accommodation here? I'm assuming it's apply early.
Yeah, for sure apply as soon as you can. There is quite a lot of space on campus. So I think all the should be available online, different stages of terms of accommodation. I think there are quite maybe 4 or 5 different students dormitories that you can apply to. And I would highly suggest people to actually apply to those, because even if you instead try to look outside campus or maybe in Cranfield Village or in Milton Keynes, and then you probably manage to spend some money and a lot of time just traveling from the village or from the cities nearby to campus. And so I highly suggest, just apply as soon as you can, have a look at all the accommodations. There are quite a lot available, and just do it, yeah.
Just do it. And Sangya, I guess you'd agree. Sangya, are you living on campus or are you off campus? And what would you recommend?
So I was waiting for my turn because I did a thorough research on campus accommodation was about to come. So if anyone is planning to come here, I would suggest to please be there on campus. I tell you, there are so many things to do in the university campus, and if you plan to stay off campus, you're surely going to miss a lot of fun and, of course, opportunities where you get to learn a lot. For example, we have really nice accommodations here in the campus itself. I mean, you do not need to go for off-campus accommodation. As I mentioned earlier, I used to maintain my diary, so I even noted my dates when the accommodation portal was about to open, and I was the second student to apply for the on-campus accommodation, and I got my first preference as Stringfellow Hall. So you have really ample amount of space here. It's just that you have to be quick enough to apply for your accommodation. So you have decent rooms, the ventilation is good enough, you have really nice, spacious, neat kitchens as well, and the washroom, everything is perfect. Even the people who are there for helping us, they're also very sweet and understanding. So you have Lanchester Hall, your Stringfellow, your Baroness, you have Michel Hall, you have other shared houses as well. So for students, it is so convenient for you to choose according to your budget, the on-campus accommodation. Because after once your lectures are over, you do not just want to get back on the bus again and go back to your off-campus accommodation and just sit back in your room doing nothing. You would like to interact with students in the university understand and know more of the university campus. So that way, it is always better to stay on campus. You have sports hall, you can go for gym, you have a beautiful, huge football garden as well. You have lawn tennis courts as well. So, and you also have the student association cafe here where you can just, chill with your friends and play board games there. And you have activities like, for example, the last weekend we had Halloween pumpkin carving. Now, if you're an off-campus student, then you would have to just, catch a bus and get back to your house. But if you're here, you're
Wonderful.
cool enough. Just keep your bag in your room and go for your activities here.
Wonderful.
We have
Thank
so
you.
many lectures. Yeah.
You're an ambassador and extraordinarily well prepared. We have run out of time. Michael, there's one quick question from our single Chile student. Is the GRE or the GMAT test required for applications to
No,
Cranfield?
it's not.
Not required.
It's not required.
Okay.
If you have done it, fine. I'm happy to look at it, but it's not required.
Okay. We have run out of time. I can't believe it. Please stay in touch. We want to stay in touch with you. We want to see you on the campus line for this program. So if there's anything that's not clear, please get in touch. You've seen the contact details, and if you're watching the recording and you've made it this far, congratulations. Clearly you are very interested. Michael, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy days to join us.
Thank you to all the participants. Hope to see
Yes.
as many of you as possible next year.
And Francesco, thank you very much indeed. Sangya. Preeti, thank you very much indeed. And Rupert, sorry we lost your audio at the end there, but thank you again for taking time to join us. The studio managers today were Robin Hackett and Marco Gomez. The producer was Tammy Argent Peters. My name is Toby Thompson. Thank you for watching.